the chance to make some extra space and money at the same time. Download Vinted. If you don't wear it, sell it.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can it keep me warm when I'm cold?
Wait, no, I'm always hot.
Sleep Number does that.
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Sleep Number does that. Your ideal firmness and effortless comfort all night.
Can it help us sleep better and better?
Please.
Sleep Number does that. It's the Sleep Number Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort that adjusts to you through all of life's changes. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Stop and Shop. Good things are in store. This is CBS News, New York.
It's Election Day, and the polls are about to open in both New York and New Jersey. Could a last-minute Trump endorsement shake up the New York City mayor's race?
And in New Jersey, the fight for the governor's seat comes down to the wire.
And when you vote, don't forget to flip over your ballot. The 6 proposals on the back that could affect housing development and election timing. We'll break down what a yes or no for each vote means. Good morning on this Tuesday, November 4th. I'm Chris Raggi.
And I'm Mary Calvi. We have a lot of news to get to for you. We have live team coverage this Election Day from polls across the tri-state area. Elijah Westbrook is on the New York mayoral race. Aziza Schuler is on the other local races we are watching today. Christina Fan is on the New Jersey governor's race. But first, let's get you over to Tony Sadiga. Find out what the weather's going to be like when you head to the polls this morning. Tony.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, important forecast, and happy to say weather-wise we deliver. I mean, no major issues in store that's definitely going to hold you back. I think numbers might be the one challenge, especially out early. You got widespread 40s in and through town. A place like Colts Neck is 48 degrees. Wayne is 45. In Kingston, it's 36 degrees. In the city, it's about 48. Wind chill is a factor. It's making it feel like the low 40s in spots, and some areas even colder. And speaking of winds, this is what they're doing right now. We've got sustained winds. For some of you, it's single digits, which is nice. But for many others of you, those winds are already gusting 10 to 20, packing higher gusts in the neighborhood of 30. And that's the story today as we get out to the polls. So if you're headed out early, just dress warmly, especially if you've got to stand in any lines. You'll feel that brisk breeze that kind of has a bite to it at times. Now, by 9 o'clock, we're 51. We're headed for about upper 50s, low 60s around lunchtime. So if you're using that lunch break to head to the polls, just kind of keep that in mind. 60 degrees at 1 o'clock will feel pretty good when the winds are blowing. And then we'll spend the rest of the afternoon more or less in the upper 50s with ample sunshine. I got a good-looking day. Rain doesn't get in the way. And I think from start to finish, it's a day you'll like to spend outside. Now, from here, some changes come. If you like it even warmer, we've got that to talk about, plus a couple of bumps in the road, too, as rain chances are on the rise. We'll have more on that in just a moment. First, let's check in with Anique Evans in your First Alert Traffic to see what you might be up against early on a Tuesday. Hey, Anique.
Hey, Tony. Well, we're up against this construction in New Rochelle. There's road work blocking the left and center lanes on the New England Thruway southbound from exit 17 to exit 15. That road work's going to be going on until 7:30, so just keep that in mind because we've got some heavy volume, especially at the exit 17 side of that. Some better news on the FDR Drive. There's construction at 42nd Street, but luckily it is being cleared. You can still see that the right lane is blocked, but construction crews are wrapping that up, so that should be easing up within the next few minutes. Alternate side parking is suspended for the election, but meter rules are still in effect. Chris and Mary, back to you.
5:32 right now is Election Day. Polls are set to open in New York City less than a half hour from now.
The New York City mayor's race has captured nationwide attention and drawn unprecedented interest from voters. On Monday, President Trump endorsing independent Andrew Cuomo for mayor. Elijah Westbrook live from a polling site in Rego Park, Queens this morning. Hi, Elijah.
Hey there, good morning to you, Chris and Mary. Well, I can tell you right now, final preparations are being made at this time ahead of when the polls open for the day. You can probably see there behind me some of the workers putting up some signage there, alerting some of the voters about where they need to go as they come inside the building here. As you mentioned, we're just under a half hour away to when the polls open for the day, and that is when voters will start making their decision on who they would like to see lead New York City.
And that's what actually terrifies Donald Trump and Elon Musk and even Andrew Cuomo the most. It's their fear that we will, in fact, accomplish the things that we have campaigned on.
Democratic candidate Zohran Mamdani making his final pitch to voters, appearing on national television last night.
This is one of the more expensive endorsements that Andrew Cuomo has ever gotten because it took $959 million in tax breaks that he gave Elon Musk for Elon Musk's pet projects back when Cuomo was the governor. And we're seeing the two twin architects of this second term of Donald Trump's presidency, in the president himself and Elon Musk, saying clearly to New Yorkers that their candidate is Andrew Cuomo.
But the Queens Assemblyman is also dealing with another attempt by President Trump to sway voters. His message, if Mondani wins:
it's going to be hard for me as the president to give a lot of money to New York, because if you have a communist running New York, all you're doing is wasting the money you're sending there.
And in a late twist, President Trump endorsed Cuomo on Truth Social Monday, calling him the strongest choice to take on Mondani, leaving Cuomo to interpret Trump's lukewarm support of him.
I happen to be a good Democrat and a proud Democrat, and I'm going to stay a proud Democrat. Mondani is not a communist, he's a socialist.
Republican Curtis Sliwa also trying to convince voters to back him and not Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo, my adversary, is like the uncle you don't want to come over on the holidays. If you're less than 30, he's flirty. If you happen to be a female. Need I say more?
All right, so again, the polls open up at 6 a.m. and they close tonight at 9 p.m. Let's go ahead and continue our live team coverage. Send things out to Aziza Schuler. She is live on Manhattan's Upper West Side with more on the local races happening in our area. Good morning to you, Aziza.
Good morning, Elijah. Now, when voters flip their ballot over, there are 6 proposals on the back. Most of them focus on affordable housing and development approvals, but there is one that is about election timing. Let's run through them. Proposal 1 would allow an Olympic sports complex on protected land in Essex County, upstate, where the Winter Games were once held. Props 2 through 4 all deal with housing, speeding up affordable housing approvals, easing rules for smaller projects, and creating a new appeals board that could override the city council on some developments. Proposal 5 would require the city to create one digital consolidated map for city planning, and Proposal 6 would unify local elections with presidential election years, but it would still need statewide approval to take effect. Now, every one of those 6 proposals only require a yes or no vote. Live on the Upper West Side, Aziza Schuler, CBS News, New York.
5:36, and in New Jersey, the race for governor is tied between Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill and former state assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli.
Christina Fan is in Paramus this morning with more details. Hi, Christina.
Hey there, Chris and Mary. With this race being one of only 2 gubernatorial contests this election cycle, a lot of eyes are on New Jersey. Both candidates have had party heavyweights come out and campaign on their behalf. Democrat Mikey Sherrill has been on a 21-county bus tour, stopping in Morristown and Union City Monday, promising to focus on affordability by freezing utility rate hikes. Over the weekend, she held rallies with former President Barack Obama and Senator Cory Booker, saying she'll continue to fight Trump's vision in Washington if she's elected. Meanwhile, President Trump backed Jack Ciattarelli with another tele-rally Monday, while the Republican made stops in Totowa and Raritan. Ciattarelli said if he's elected, he'll shrink the size of the government to bring down taxes, replace the Attorney General to make sure school districts don't keep secrets from parents, and get rid of cashless bail. We asked voters what matters the most to them.
We need a change here in New Jersey. 8 years of Murphy's, enough is enough.
A lot of us see what's going on in Washington and we just can't slide backwards.
I love that she's for women's rights and for immigrants' rights.
We need to end this sanctuary state status. 2, we need lower state income tax.
In Passaic County, New Jersey, voters there may see federal monitors in place at polling sites. The Department of Justice says the move was made to ensure transparency, ballot security, and compliance with federal law. Monitors were also sent to a total of 6 jurisdictions this election cycle, most of them in California. We do expect to hear from Mikey Sherrill later on this morning when she casts her ballot in Montclair. We are still waiting for Jack Ciattarelli's campaign schedule for today. Reporting live from Paramus, New Jersey, Christina Fan, CBS News, New York.
All right, Christina, thank you. We're also keeping a close eye on the race for Jersey City Mayor. Former Governor Jim McGreevey making his political comeback as part of a crowded field in that race, along with Hudson County Commissioner Bill O'Day, Councilman James Solomon, and others.
And we'll have you covered on election night. We'll have a full hour beginning at 8 p.m. on New York 55. Then you can watch our Voters Decide streaming special beginning at 9 o'clock, followed by the news at 11. We have a Voters Decide page on our website. You can research all of the ballot proposals, endorsements, and key issues. It's all on CBSNewYork.com.
Well, now to the government shutdown, which is now in its 35th day. The Trump administration says it will pay out partial SNAP food assistance benefits for the month of November, but not the full benefits.
The administration says it will use a contingency fund to partially pay out benefits this month. The move follows rulings from 2 federal judges. Democratic leaders push back, saying the USDA has the authority to continue paying full SNAP benefits.
Over $9 billion to fund SNAP for a month, and we only have, I think it's $5.2 billion in the contingency fund. So you have a big shortfall.
And the courts should do everything they can to force this administration, cruel as it may be, manipulating hungry people as it is doing. The courts must make sure that full benefits are restored.
It's still unclear when the partial SNAP funds will be distributed, with the USDA indicating there could be delays. The Senate is set to vote for a 14th time today on a measure to reopen the government. If that fails, the shutdown will become the longest in U.S. history.
The suspension of food assistance programs has many New Jersey families wondering where their next meal will come from. In Ridgewood, New Jersey, an emergency food drive has brought in hundreds of bags filled with groceries to help local residents who have lost their SNAP benefits.
Every community in New Jersey and probably all across the country is impacted by this.
That someone in this town can't put food on their table, I had to help.
Ridgewood officials say 263 people in that community have lost their SNAP benefits. They say the Ridgewood food drive will continue until the current crisis is over.
5:40 right now. Let's turn things back over to Tony Sadiku and find out about today's temperatures.
Hi, Mary. Yeah, so cold front's gone by, and it is making a difference in terms of the numbers and what it feels like. So this starts you off in places like Oyster Bay this morning, 48 degrees. That's your air temperature. But when that wind blows by, your body says, well, 48 is not the true feel. It actually feels like about 44. You see similar differences. Ridgefield, Connecticut, 42, the real feel. 40 right now, where the air temperature is 45 in Kingston and in around town. Same story. So this is what you're up against. If you're waiting at the bus stop, you're waiting for the train or the ferry, the wind is certainly a factor. It's a chilly trip. Heat's probably on the ride into work. This afternoon is smooth sailing, green lights, no impacts weather-wise, but I know that dark icon's tough to put on an evening commute. Sun goes down at 4:48. We'll talk about a rebound in the temperatures and an next rain chance when I see you in a moment. 5:41 right now. Anik Evans standing by with the latest in your first alert traffic. How are we doing, Anik?
Well, we're doing okay, but we do have some new issues. Let's talk about Kearney, where on the southbound side of the western spur of the New Jersey Turnpike, we're seeing some volume at exit 15W. Traffic is heavy for about a mile and a half and continuing to build. We're hearing that may be due to construction, so you might want to take the eastern spur instead. Now to Cranford, where we have a crash on the Garden State Parkway northbound, just north of exit 137. The right shoulder is blocked with that. Alternate side parking is suspended for Election Day, but meter rules are still in effect. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Anik, thank you. 5:41. Coming up, Coney Island might finally get a ferry. How officials are testing the waters, see if boats can safely reach the area.
And the maker of Huggies is buying Tylenol's parent company in a $50 billion deal. What does this mean for your favorite brands? We'll tell you.
Ready for an evening of wit and side-splitting laughter? Scan the QR code to enter AARP's Ticket Sweepstakes for your chance to attend a live taping of an iconic late-night show. For more information, visit aarp.org/NY Experiences.
It only takes a little flame to start. Hold it in your mind. Let it grow with time.
Share a little light this season at the Lincoln Wishlist Sales Event. Get 0% APR financing on select 2025 Lincoln vehicles plus $1,000 bonus cash on all 2025 Lincoln vehicles.
As a Navy helicopter pilot, I learned accountability, that leaders always put the people they serve first. I'm Mikey Sherrill, and I'll serve you as governor to drive your costs down. On day one, I'm declaring a state of emergency on utility costs.
And stop those train wrecks.
to lower your family's bills. And when I'm governor, no sales tax increases, period. And I'll fight for your family just as hard as I fight for mine.
Navy veteran, federal prosecutor, mom of 4. For Governor, Mikey Sherrill.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans. Compare drug coverage. Compare costs. See if you can save. And make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Compare plans now at Medicare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
What happens when reporters take you inside the story?
I've been asking for over a year and a half for access into this place, and this is the first time we're getting it.
You get the all-new CBS Evening News every weeknight.
Life in New York is tough right now. Candidates who need on-the-job training can't fix it. I see a new day just over the horizon. With 5,000 more cops on the beat, the homeless off the streets, and 500,000 new affordable homes. Bringing New Yorkers together by unifying, not divided. Join me, and let's build a better New York starting on day 1.
CBS New York supports Native American Heritage Month.
A renewed sense of hope in Coney Island as the city reconsiders ferry service from the Amusement District Pier. Each day, ferries pass Steeplechase Pier en route from the Rockaways to Manhattan while locals watch from shore and wave. Craig Hammerman, co-president of Coney Islanders for an Oceanside Ferry, say the idea has floated for years until the NYC Economic Development Corporation deemed it too costly. Now, Councilmember Justin Brannan is reviving that dream, working with NYC EDC to buy a buoy off the pier to track the wave patterns for a year, gauging what it would take to make the route possible.
We're hoping that the buoy actually shows us that having a bigger boat to fight these tougher waves is really all you need. The pier is already here, and that's half the battle.
A ferry from Coney Island to Lower Manhattan would take about 25 minutes. To do that same trip by train would take over an hour. So there's clearly a savings to be had.
Well, we've been saying this for years. You're going to need a bigger boat. In 2022, NYC EDC built then quietly removed a ferry landing at Kaiser Park after residents objected and engineers found the site unsuitable. This new study will reveal whether larger vessels can safely navigate Coney Island's open waters. Let's send it over to Tony Sadiga right now with your first alert forecast. Didn't realize the waters were so rough over there.
Yeah, didn't either. But now we know.
Now we know.
All you need is a bigger boat.
You got it. Just give me a bigger boat.
Yeah, Chris. And it's certainly something a lot of folks can get on board with. A little faster commute doesn't hurt. Weather-wise, no impacts to your commute today. We are tracking a bit of a chill. Weather watchers are on it. Numbers in the 30s to the north. You got some 40s, upper 40s, around 50 degrees. It's not too far off from where we should be for lows. And some rainfall reports coming in. And for the most part, areas north of town had a little more than 1/10 of an inch. The rest of us were counting the rain by the drop. There's not a lot, and perhaps rain chances are going to be pretty low going forward, but you love to see the fall color, and Les is sharing some of that as well. Nice color on a Tuesday, especially with the bright blue sky coming back out too. So take you outside, not quite sunrise, 6:30, but you're starting to see a little bit of a glimpse of what your day is going to look like, and it looks pretty good, right? Clouds rare today, 48 with a west wind at 9, and the wind certainly a part of the weather story today. Take you through your day planner, and yeah, this is your story today. Numbers will show a little bit more range. I mean, yesterday we're kind of stuck in the 50s all day. Today, more or less, we start in the upper 40s, and we can make a run at about 60 degrees. So if you're off to the polls, that's the story with numbers climbing and the gusty wind. So, I mean, while today has a brighter look, it doesn't necessarily translate to that much warmer of a day. We get an extra degree. That's about it. If you want some warmth, we could dial that up tomorrow. Mid-60s attainable. That's far cry from where we should be this time of the year before a pretty dramatic dip on Thursday. Here's the story today. Not a whole lot going on. It's dry. It's a pretty potent west to northwest wind. It'll kick into gear. Now, winds relax tonight. So there is going to be a notable chill tomorrow morning. There won't be as much of a wind chill, but temperatures we think is going to be colder to start. But look at the afternoon. It's a southwest wind now, and that can really accelerate temperatures. We're talking mid to upper 60s attainable. There may be more clouds to the north, so that might be out of reach for some of you in the Hudson Valley as we're waiting on a fast-moving front, but this arrives well after dark. I mean, like 8, 9 o'clock for the Hudson Valley. It could be a gustier thunderstorm embedded in there too, but it blows by, and by Thursday you're left with dry conditions. But now our weather's shifting gears, and what do I mean? Well, look at the First Alert 7-day forecast. How do we go from 64 on Wednesday to 54 on Thursday? What happened? Cold front is that strong, and it makes a difference. 54 with a wind will feel chilly, so that's kind of the coldest of the week. Friday morning, the coldest morning of the week, 40s, widespread 30s. We'll effort a rebound Saturday, and there's another front Sunday and Monday. And, yeah, you see it there, too. A low of 38 in New York City Monday morning.
Oh, boy, that's going to hurt. Yeah, but today, 60 degrees.
Today's a nice day.
Really
yeah.
can't
well, especially when the winds aren't blowing too bad.
Tony, thanks so much.
A lot of disclaimers there.
Some hit you just right if you're on the right side.
Yeah, for a quick check of your First Alert traffic, you didn't seem very positive there. Now here's Annie Gibbons with more.
Hi, Chris. Well, let's talk about Brantford. We have a crash on the Garden State Parkway northbound, just north of exit 137. The right shoulder is blocked, but that should be wrapping up shortly. Now to a live look at the GWB. We're not too bad heading inbound or outbound. As for the rest of the Hudson River crossings, minor delays at the Lincoln or Holland tunnels. And we've got a beautiful sunrise there as well. Alternate side parking is suspended for the election, but meter rules are still in effect. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Nick, thank you. Arguments in Sean Diddy Combs' appeal could be heard as early as next spring. A judge granted the request by Combs' attorney to expedite his appeal process. Combs was transferred to a prison in Fort Dix, New Jersey, just last week. He was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison earlier last month after he was convicted on prostitution charges. His lawyers argued the normal appeals process could take too long.
Happening today, former crypto mogul Sam Bankman-Fried is back in the spotlight today as his appeal hits a Manhattan courtroom. 2 years after being convicted of stealing billions from FTX customers, the one-time crypto king is serving a 25-year sentence. Bankman-Fried is now hoping to overturn that verdict, or if he loses, win a presidential pardon, with the Trump campaign friendly to crypto and known for pardoning white-collar offenders. He may have a slim chance at that.
Well, Kimberly Clark, the maker of Huggies and Kleenex, is buying Kenvue, the parent company of Tylenol and Listerine, in a nearly $50 billion merger. The company, combined, is expected to generate $32 billion a year in revenue, with the deal closing in the second half of 2026. Once complete, Kimberly Clark shareholders will own 54% of the new company. The deal follows recent controversy after President Trump made unfounded claims linking Tylenol to autism in pregnant women.
5:50 right now. Up next, big changes are coming to the Gowanus area. The new park, screen infrastructure, and giant tanks that are designed to stop pollution and flooding.
And have you ever seen this trail in Central Park? Joggers and residents complain about illegal parking along the route as police and officials now step in.
NCIS Origins is all new. CBS Tonight, 9/8 Central, and streaming on Paramount+.
Countdown to election night, from affordability to public safety, the issues and races that matter as voters decide on new leaders in New York City and New Jersey. We'll bring it all home with live team coverage across the tri-state area.
Last question. If you could pass one piece of legislation, what would it be?
Wow, I would love, that's a really good question.
Mikey Sherrill, more of the same, but worse. Time for a change.
Mary was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer and couldn't understand why it wasn't discovered sooner. She came to the Porter Law Group looking for answers. Our medical experts reviewed her old mammograms and discovered her doctors failed to identify clear evidence of cancer a year earlier when she could have been cured. Mary's lawsuit settled before trial for $6.5 million. If you were denied a cure because of a doctor's failure to make a timely diagnosis, call 833-888-LATE or visit nycancerlawyers.com.
The biggest fear is when you're alone, and there are no police. Zoran Mamdani is against more police in the subway. If you're in danger, his solution as mayor would be for you to call the Behavioral Health Emergency Assistance Response Division. Whatever that is. Nice isn't what we need in a mayor. Paid for by 4 Hour City.
The hit series Martin is now on Dabble.
That's what's up. Every day at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
What's up?
What up? Find Dabble on Broadcast Channel 2.3 and on these providers.
Last question. If you could pass one piece of legislation, what would it be?
Wow, I would love. That's a really good question.
Mikey Sherrill, more of the same, but worse. Time for a change.
Coming up, Drew's got the ultimate hairdos with star stylist Chris Appleton. From the perfect bob.
Oh my God, love it!
To the sexy power of bangs.
Oh, baby!
Today at 9 on CBS New York.
Together, we can help make the holidays brighter for our New Jersey neighbors in need and help build a food-secure future for our state. New Jersey, now is the time. Unite to end hunger. Go to cfbnj.org to join us.
Welcome back at 5:53. Got a good-looking Tuesday ahead. Temperatures are headed for the upper 50s, low 60s with a chilly breeze, but ample sunshine. But tomorrow, look at this. Winds pivot out of the southwest, and that's the difference of about 4 or 5 degrees in the afternoon as we'll be in the warm sector ahead of a front. It's a rare, mild day. The mildest probably for a while as temperatures will be reaching mid to upper 60s. It's pleasant under sun and clouds. And unfortunately, we're not necessarily able to latch onto this because by Thursday, once we got on the other side of a cold front now, not only can't we do the mid-60s, I mean, we're stuck in the 50s all day with a chilly breeze. That cooler air is back around next week. We'll have more details on the full 7-day coming up at 5:54 as we check back in with Anik Evans, helping you navigate some slowdowns early on a Tuesday. Hey, Anik.
Hey, Tony. Well, let's start with mass transit, where everything is currently running on or close to schedule for Metro North, PATH, New Jersey Transit, and the LIRR. And now a live look outside at the GWB, where you can see the sunrise. Not too bad heading inbound or outbound. As for the rest of the Hudson River crossings, traffic is moving well at both the Lincoln and Holland tunnels. Alternate side parking is suspended for the election today, but meter rules are still in effect. Mary, back to you.
Nick, thank you. A transformation happening along one of the most polluted waterways in New York City. Clang and construction echoing through Gowanus, where new landscape is being built to combat sewer overflow into the canal. The new public spaces use native plantings and features to absorb and filter stormwater before it ultimately ends up in the canal. Mixed-use buildings using rooftop gardens and holding base tanks in the basement.
Well, complaints in Central Park after a popular walking and running trail is looking more like a parking lot. Our cameras caught dozens of cars parked on the bridle path near the NYPD's Central Park precinct. While some are marked police cars or have special parking passes, others appear to be there illegally. It's been a common complaint from many residents there, including joggers. Now police and local leaders are getting involved.
We'll have to meet with the police and the Parks Department, and we'd like to find out from them what their actual numbers are. Everybody else has to find another place, working with the police, working with the Parks Department. There may be other locations, but not on the bridle path.
NYPD says the precinct commander is looking into it, and the Parks Department says safety is a priority.
5:56, still ahead. Election day is here. New York City voters heading to the polls as the mayor's race could make history. And in New Jersey, a tight governor's race drawing big endorsements. We have live team coverage as the polls are opening in just a couple of minutes.
And it's a brisk start to the day. Get that jacket before you head to the polls. Our first alert forecast has details on the temperature highs that we're going to see later today.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Mornings.
Guess who's here? Jeff.
So cute.
I could do this till sunset.
On CBS Mornings.
CBS News New York, your home for the biggest stories.
What grade would you give President Trump for his second term?
I'd certainly give the president an A. I think he's right about everything that he's doing.
MAGA Jack Chitterelli gives Trump an A, even though Trump's tariffs could cost you $1,800. His energy plan could raise your electric bill hundreds, and terminating the Gateway Tunnel could kill nearly 100,000 jobs and create traffic nightmares. And what's MAGA Jack been saying?
I think he's right about everything that he's doing.
There's a reason Kyle Busch hates school zones. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm.
Hey, Dad, maybe Mom can do carpool next time.
Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Hey guys, so whenever I need more space in my wardrobe, I sell everything I don't wear anymore on Vinted. It's an app for secondhand fashion. I can get some extra cash by giving my clothes a second life. Win-win. And best of all, there are no selling fees, so everything you make is yours. Selling on Vinted is easy. You just take a picture of the item you want to sell and upload it. And since you set the price, you've got a better chance to earn back what you want from it. So what are you waiting for? Download the Vinted app today. If you don't wear it, sell it.
A military cheating scandal tripled her net worth during her time in Congress. Couldn't bother to show up in D.C. and vote. And when she did, voted against lowering our property taxes and voted to raise our taxes over and over. Now she wants to be our governor. No way. Jack Ciattarelli knows that together we can change New Jersey. It's time for a new direction. It's time for Jack Ciattarelli for governor.
Do you want free internet? Forever? You got it. Really. We mean it. Spectrum is offering free fiber-powered internet forever. Want it? Just call this number and switch 4 mobile lines to Spectrum for a lifetime of internet you never pay for. It's not a trial. It's an unprecedented offer. So we'll say it again. Free fiber-powered internet forever. Have you called yet? Because your internet is forever. But this ad ends now.
Closed captioning on CBS News New York is sponsored by Spectrum Business. This is CBS News New York.
Now at 6, it all comes down to this. Polls officially open for the general election in some of the most closely watched races in the country, from New Jersey governor.
It is great to be home.
I look out at all of you, and I see what I want the future to look like.
To New York City mayor.
When you focus and fight for working people, you can in fact remake the politics of the place that you call home.
We're not going backwards. We're going forward.
As President Trump finally reveals his endorsement.
He opposes Mondami. He doesn't support me.
Our team is live across the tri-state area as we kick off this historic day. And a live look from a polling location on the Upper West Side, just opening at 6 a.m. Voters can now vote in person today in the city through 9 p.m. tonight in the city, 8 p.m. in New Jersey. It is Tuesday, November 4th. I'm Chris Ranke.
I'm Mary Calvi. We will get to our live team coverage on this election day, but first we take things over to Tony Zadiku in the virtual studio for a check on the first alert forecast. What are we looking at this morning?
Good morning, guys. It looks like a really nice day. I would definitely go layers for sure this morning. There's a chill in the air. One thing you're not going to need is the rain gear. The rain we had yesterday exiting now, but that system is tightening the pressure gradient, so we got a pretty breezy day. I mean, you can already see it's a good-looking day. Sun is shining. Now, there's our next system we're tracking on the Pacific Northwest. A lot of ground to cover, but we think by tomorrow afternoon and evening, some of that rain is here. Now, let's talk about what the day will bring. And today, skies are going to be clear. We'll wake up in the 40s when you step out the door. And remember, that 48 has a wind chill to it, too. So it feels probably 4 to 6 degrees cooler than the thermometer says. Numbers will climb into the upper 50s this afternoon. About 60 degrees is where we'll see high temperatures. What you'll notice as we go through the day is this. The winds are certainly a factor. Occasional gusting 25 to 40 miles an hour. It adds to the brisk feel. And that's why I think it's a good idea to dress warmly, just in case you've got to stand out there a little longer than you're expecting to. Now, the winds start to diminish late tonight after a bright and blustery day. We're headed for our pick of the week tomorrow. But then it's an autumn chill that ensues latter portion of the week. We'll have more on that and tracking a rain chance, too. And I see you in just a bit. First, at 6:01, we're going to check back in with Anik Evans. She's got the latest in your first alert traffic. Sounds like we're doing okay?
We're doing okay, but let's take a look at some things in just north of the city. We've got some road maintenance on 287, the Cross Westchester Expressway westbound at exit 9. That's the Hutchinson River Parkway. That road work is going on until about 7 a.m., and we're seeing a little bit of volume, so just keep that in mind because at least one lane is closed in the area. Now to a live look at the Mario Cuomo Bridge, where traffic is moving well in both directions. So no delays here. You might just see a little bit of volume heading across the span. Alternate side parking is suspended for the election, but meter rules are still in effect. Chris and Mary, back to you.
6:02 right now. It's Election Day. Polls are now open across the tri-state area.
Both the New Jersey race for governor and the New York City mayor's race have drawn national attention. More than 730,000 New Yorkers have already cast their ballot, a record for early voting in the city. We've got live team coverage this morning covering the key elections in our area and some of the questions voters will see on their ballots. Let's start with the very latest on the race for mayor with Elijah Westbrook from a polling site in Rego Park, Queens this morning. Elijah.
Hey, good morning to you, Chris and Mary. Well, as you said, the polls are officially open across the 5 boroughs. So far, we haven't seen any voters show up to this specific polling location here in Rego Park, Queens. But of course, that will change as the minutes and hours progress throughout the day here. The New York City mayoral race all comes down to this.
We will accomplish everything we have run on.
Leading the Democratic ticket, candidate Zohran Mamdani, the 34-year-old Queens Assemblyman who could become the second youngest mayor in city history and the first Muslim mayor of New York. In his closing argument Monday, he said his supporters are changing the future of the city.
Making history to show that when you focus and fight for working people, you can in fact remake the politics of the place that you call home.
Then there's Curtis Sliwa, the Guardian Angels founder and Republican nominee. But some members of his own party have not thrown their support behind him, including President Trump. In fact, he was not moved by being passed over by the president and kept his fire on independent candidate Andrew Cuomo.
To resurrect a political zombie, Andrew Cuomo, who's the reason we're in a crime crisis. No cash bail, raise the age, close Rikers Island. No. We're not going backwards. We're going forward.
And in a late twist, President Trump endorsed Cuomo on Truth Social Monday, calling him the strongest choice to take on Mamdani and warning Republicans that a vote for Sliwa is also a vote for Mamdani. The president also said he would likely withhold money from the city if Mamdani is elected, leaving Cuomo to interpret Trump's lukewarm support of him.
He's not endorsing me. He's opposing Mamdani. Now, the president calls him a communist. New Yorkers call him a socialist. But that turns off a lot of New Yorkers.
All right, so there's a full day ahead. Keep in mind that the polls will remain open until 9 o'clock tonight. For additional information about your specific polling location, you can head to vote.nyc. We're live right now in Rego Park, Queens. Elijah Westbrook, CBS News, New York.
6:05, and New Yorkers will also cast their vote in other major races. Aziza Schuler joins us live from a polling place on the Upper West Side with a look at some of the other contests today. Aziza.
Good morning, Mary. Well, over the past hour or so, poll workers have been arriving here at PS 452 and posting signage to direct voters to the entrance. Now, I spoke to one poll worker who told me he's curious to see exactly how many people show up today in person, as Manhattan had the highest early in-person voting turnout of all the 5 boroughs. Now, in addition to the mayor's race, citywide, voters will also be able to pick a public advocate and comptroller. And depending on where you live, you will also be able to decide on borough president, city council members, judges, and other local officials. For public advocate, Democrat Jumaane Williams is looking to keep his seat facing independent Marty Dolan and Republican Gonzalo Duran. The comptroller's race is wide open since Brad Lander is not seeking re-election. 3 candidates are in the running: the Manhattan Borough President, Democrat Mark Levine, Republican Peter Kafalis, and independent Ismael Malave Perez. Now, for both public advocate and comptroller, there will be a blank section on the right side of the ballot where voters can decide to write in a choice of their own. Live on the Upper West Side, Aziza Schuler, CBS News, New York.
Aziza, thank you. In New Jersey, the race for governor, a tight one. Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill and former state assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli both battling for the position. Christina Fan is live in Paramus this morning as voters start heading to the polls for in-person voting. Christina?
Chris, good morning. Both candidates here in New Jersey in the campaign's final hours are trying to get out different messages to voters. Democrat Mikey Sherrill has been trying to tie her opponent to President Trump, while Republican Jack Ciattarelli says this election is all about New Jersey, not Washington, D.C. Jack Ciattarelli spent a portion of Monday speaking at a packed tavern in Totowa, where he was surprised with a visit from his son, who is serving in the Middle East. Ciattarelli told supporters he plans to shrink the size of the government to bring down taxes, replace the Attorney General to make sure school districts don't keep secrets from parents, and get rid of cashless bail. Cheryl, who continued her 21-county bus tour with stops in Morristown and Union City, says she'll require ICE and Customs Enforcement officers to present identification while making arrests. She also says she'll be focusing on lowering the cost of living.
But I've really focused my campaign on affordability, declaring a state of emergency on day one to freeze rate hikes and drive down costs for families, expanding the first-time home buyers credit programs.
We're going to reduce the size and cost of our state government to afford a tax cut for individuals and businesses, which is long overdue. Also on day one, you get an attorney general who supports police and parents here in the state of New Jersey.
Both candidates have scored key endorsements. President Trump backed Ciattarelli with another tele-rally Monday night, while former President Barack Obama rallied with Cheryl in Newark over the weekend. But on Election Day, it all comes down to the people of New Jersey. Cheryl will be in Montclair later on this morning to cast her ballot. Ciattarelli, on the other hand, already early voted in Bridgewater last week. Reporting live from Paramus in New Jersey, Christina Fan, CBS News, New York.